first time I experienced breastfeeding, I was 18 years old and a mother to my oldest daughter, Berkeley. I thought that I had everything, I thought I had read everything that I could to know what to expect when to breastfeed and what it was going to be like. And I remember waking up one morning being soaked head to toe and not knowing what to do. By looking at my experience of breastfeeding, we will again gain some information on what worked for others and what worked for myself. Some of you may know a lot about breastfeeding and some of you may not know very much. From this speech, hopefully you'll gain some information that'll help you with breastfeeding when it is your time to breastfeed. Some of you may know a lot about breastfeeding. Perhaps you know someone personally who does breastfeeding, and in every case, breastfeeding happens differently for each individual. I hope that by what you hear from me tonight, that you'll be able to use it when it is your turn. I have chosen to breastfeed all of my children, and I have learned that every experience is different. Every time that I am pregnant, I always try to read and learn as much information as I possibly can so that I might be able to experience something differently or do something differently that will help with when I breastfeed my child. We will look at an engorged breast, breastfeeding a newborn, and bonding with our newborn while breastfeeding. First, we will start about talking about engorged breasts. Your breast may increase up to ½ pound. At first, you will have to you will just have colostrum. Then 48 to 96 hours later, your milk will come in. When it comes in, it's called letdown, and many women will say that it feels like being poked by hundreds of needles at one time. I would like to say that this feeling does go away eventually, but you never get used to this feeling. To help with the pain, warm compresses and warm showers and creams that you can apply to your nipples to help with the cracks and the bleeding and the tenderness will usually help. To prevent this from happening, begin by breastfeeding as soon as possible when you feel your milk come in. Try not to prolong it or it becomes more painful. If you cannot breastfeed, always either try to manually breast pump or use a breast pump to help release some of the pressure. It also helps if you keep pressure on the breast that you're not nursing on to help from leaking and to help from not making a mess and spraying it everywhere. Some treatments that you can use are hot showers, hot compresses, but do not leave them on longer than 5 minutes because that can increase swelling and increase discomfort. If you can, massage your breasts when you can to help relieve some of the tenderness and to help with the milk supply. We've just talked about engorged breasts, now we're going to talk about breastfeeding a newborn. Immunity is very important while breastfeeding. It helps build up antibodies to help protect your child in their first years of life so that they can help become immune to certain different illnesses and sicknesses and viruses. A diet for mother is very important. In order to produce enough milk while breastfeeding, make sure that you drink plenty of water. It helps with the milk production. Eat fish, lean meats, plenty of fruits and vegetables, and try to stay more on the organic side. Foods to avoid while breastfeeding your newborn are juices with lots of citrus, peppers, lots of spices, caffeine, and alcohol. Some of these will increase gassiness, and so when you take those out of your diet, gradually reintroduce them so that you can figure out what's affecting your newborn. Excuse me. I've also been told by a friend that you can take gas medications that'll help your stomach and it'll pass through your breast milk and hopefully help your newborn. The caloric intake that is recommended is an extra 500 calories so that you are not starving and your child is not starving. Also remember to consult your physician to make sure that this is okay for you if you should eat more or less calories. Bonding with your newborn is very important also. Physically, skin-to-skin contact helps with a colicky baby, helps reassure that the mother is there, and helps create a bond that no other person can have with your child. Massage is also important during your breastfeeding. It helps them relax and helps them become used to your touches, and so that they know that you're comforting them. Emotionally, bonding, you are able to bond with your newborn It helps them to become more familiar with your voice and your touch. Talking softly to your newborn is also very important so they can know your voice from others. I remember my mom telling me after my experience of my first child that eventually it'll get easier, so don't give up. It usually takes about a week or two, but it does help. We have just looked at the experience of breastfeeding, and we have discussed engorged breasts, breastfeeding a newborn in positions, and and bonding with your newborn. Breastfeeding my children has been one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, and it's helped me to create a bond with my children that no one else can have. Thank you.